Hey, welcome to another episode of GeekOutdoors.com. Now that I've had a chance to really use my Monster Linux PC and spend more time actually doing things such as gaming, I just really wanted to take a moment to talk about modern gaming in Linux. Now, if you are the type of person who is really used to gaming on Windows, this is probably not the video for you. So for me, I'm pretty much a retro gamer. I don't have any modern consoles, and I definitely could not have gamed on Linux before because I just really didn't have the hardware. And my experience with Linux gaming is really old school. I mean, back then, gaming on Linux is pretty much a joke because, unless you were willing to play games through Wine, which is pretty much the only option for Linux gamers at the time, it was not a very fun experience, especially when you compare that to Windows, and that makes sense because Windows is the most popular platform. It's going to be supported by the most developers. So it really made no sense for these developers to invest a lot of time on the Linux platform. However, things have changed, and mainly because of Steam. And I am just so, pleasantly surprised by the gaming experience that I've had here. I'm really not a big fan of downloading games at all because it takes so long. I would rather have just the physical game, but even if you do have the physical game, you have to download a lot of stuff. So that's pretty much the state of modern games today, so just have to get used to it. So, downloading games, I don't think I'm really going to enjoy that ever, so I would rather have the physical games. But all of that aside, I'm so surprised by the amount of games, the variety of games that are now available in Linux. What's most surprising to me is that it was very easy to get started. Once you downloaded the game, you just clicked on it and the game started, which is awesome. I didn't really have to mess around with any settings just to get the game to work. I didn't have issues with stuff crashing. So this is the type of stuff that I would expect you to run into in Linux. And even before in PC gaming, this was something normal. There was a lot of setup just to get your game to work. That doesn't even include the settings that you would have to adjust when you play the game. So that in itself makes gaming a lot more easily accessible, and also it just gets you right into the game, which is awesome. Okay, and also in terms of the graphics and performance, the majority of games that I've played so far on Linux, most of the games, they're usually around 40 to 60 frames per second. Obviously right here I'm recording the game, so it's actually higher than this, so that is more than playable to me. But of course, if you are from the Windows world, that is definitely not fast enough. Okay, of course, for most people in the Windows world, the same game, which is optimized for Windows, will run a lot faster. But once again, 40 to 60 frames per second, that is comparable and better than what you would get in most consoles, and so no complaints there. And so another thing that I do enjoy that I did not experience when I've used Linux in the past is the fact that there are more quote-unquote modern games available on Linux. So you don't have to wait for years for a game to come out, and even a lot of times most of those games, they are not going to be available on Linux ever. So here, you can usually find titles that are only like a year or 2 years old, and in some cases they're like day and date. Okay, so with such things such as the Vulkan API and more developers start using it, and there's more demand in the Linux community, we might see more games that are actually day and date. And I can't wait till that happens, because that means there's going to be a lot more gamers, not only on the Windows platform, but also as a whole, more gamers coming to Linux. So which is going to be really, really awesome. And it's going to really motivate a lot of developers to pretty much consider Linux not only as an afterthought, but also as something that they would develop for right away. So that's pretty much my thoughts on modern gaming in Linux. I am very happy with where it is right now, and I'm very surprised at how easy it is to actually play games on it versus what I experienced before. So if you had any thoughts on modern gaming or Linux gaming in general, be sure to leave it in the comments area below. And if you did get value out of these videos, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And if you wanted to support my channel further, you could do that by going to patreon.com/Geek Outdoors. I'll have all that information in the description area below as well. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on another episode. Thanks for checking out this episode. And as always, if you like these videos, be sure to click on the subscribe button. And for full written content, audio content, and additional geek stuff, head over to geekoutdoors.com. And I'll see you outdoors on the very next episode.